Belly fat is dangerous for you. Unfortunately, it is especially hard to get rid of after the age of 40. We want less belly fat to look good, right? But we are finding that through significant research, belly fat can actually destroy our health. In this video, I'm going to show you how much is too much and how to reduce your belly fat. Join me for this very important video. Hey there, beautiful people. This is Lindy Ford, registered dietitian, clinical and licensed nutritionist, and nutrition detective. So I counsel people all over the United States from sea to shining sea, and you get the same amount of care that you would if you were sitting in my office in Wilmington, North Carolina. So if you want more information about my practice, please email me, and that email is below. And also just please subscribe, join our YouTube family. We're growing and growing. We'd love to have you. Please comment below that you are a new subscriber so I can welcome you to the channel. Also like this video if you do, and just join me on all the social media outlets, Lindy Ford Nutrition and Wellness, on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Instagram. So please join me. Okay, belly fat. I know how hard it is, guys. I'm there with you. I'm in the battle with you. I'm over 40 years old, and I have really probably battled belly fat my whole life because genetically I am prone to having a very large waist. But what we are finding, and this is actually through significant research, I was listening to a webinar several months ago by an MD, and what he was saying is that every person who comes into his practice gets their waist measured and other measurements done, because what they're finding, and this is because of large cohort analysis of many different studies. I think hundreds of thousands of people were involved in this, where what they did is they looked at these people's labs, especially their lipid labs like cholesterol and LDL and HDL and triglycerides, and compared it to their waist circumference. And what they found is that that waist circumference was more predictive of future disease than their labs. And that's significant. This is an early health risk. And it's like a red flag. It's like telling you, danger, danger, Will Robinson, danger is ahead of you. And you can get on top of this early if you get rid of that belly fat. I know it's easier said than done, because what that really is, it's not the subcutaneous fat that you see on the outer layer of your skin. Really, it's internal fat, which is called visceral fat. That is more dangerous than any other kind of fat, because it's the kind of fat that actually wraps around your organs. It gets deep inside your body and causes a metabolic mess in your body, and it starts to protrude out as belly fat or a larger waist circumference. So I want you just to be brave today. And I had to do this, and I want you to do it as well. And that is to measure your belly. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that so that you can know if you are at significant risk, because it's more important than your labs. It's more important than your BMI, folks. It is more important than that number even on the scale, though we do want that to go down as well. Listen, guys, I know that it's hard, but we can't fix what we don't acknowledge. I come from a family, y'all know, my parents died at 51 and 52, both of them beautiful, lovely people, but they both, in their 40s look like they were pregnant. They both did. And even though they weren't overly fat other places, they carried all of their weight in their belly, and they died at very young ages. So I don't want that for you. So how do we measure? So what we do is we just simply take a dollar store tape measure, okay? And what you're gonna do, you can get someone to help you with this. You can measure other places, but the big measurement that I want you to think about is 1 inch above your belly button, okay? It's right where your waist is. If you bend over, it's kind of like where the crease is made, okay? So where that crease is where you want to measure. And you don't want to do it too tight. You want to do it with no clothes on and not too loose as well. And you need to measure there every single time. And it's probably a good idea to get your hip measurement. Your abdomen, which is that biggest part as well, will also be good. But it's that waist measurement that we're going to use for a calculation, okay? And I would say it would be a great idea for you to start a little journal. And every 2 weeks, if you're going towards a goal for your belly fat, to write that in. So we know that generally, and it depends on who you read, that we want women's waist measurement to be under 35 and men to be under 40. But let me tell you, I think it should be even more specific than that. I really like, and that's what this doctor was talking about in this webinar, he always gets the waist to height ratio. I'm starting to do that with every single person that walks in my office, except for the ones that are underweight or the ones that we know don't have any significant metabolic problems. But what you do is you just take that measurement of your waist circumference and you divide it by your height in the same measurement. Now it could be inches, it could be centimeters. There are calculators online that you can look at. And what you're trying to find is this 0.5. Now I did this, my waist is not tiny, it never will be tiny, it's 32 inches, and I'm 5'10". You know, so I took 32 divided by 70, and I got 0.46. Now, I have to work at keeping it there, and I work very hard at it. And I know some of you think, oh, I got to get in that gym and I've got to exercise more. I'm going to actually link an exercise video below. I think exercise is really important, but I'm going to tell you, by counseling hundreds and hundreds of people, I'm not seeing that exercise I do want everybody watching this video to be exercising in some way, shape, and form. And you'll see that in that video. But exercise is not the key to this. Stress, yes, stress is important to keep your stress levels down. And so cortisol, when cortisol rises, it creates an insulin response that creates belly fat. So yes, cortisol is a stress hormone. You want to keep that down. But the number one way that you're going to get rid of belly fat, I know you think I'm biased, but it honestly is backed up with the research, is your food intake and keeping insulin low. And as you get older, I really believe even though we're not pre-diabetic or diabetic yet, we are careening into something called insulin resistance. I was in that same boat for so long. I'm not anymore. But if you can get yourself out of insulin resistance and you can eat a lower carb, nutrient dense, lower carb, real food diet, not low fat, guys, not low fat, but a nutrient dense, lower carb diet, I think that is the key. I'm going to link a link below. If I went into all of that, this video would be 2 hours long, but I'm actually going to link a link below on just what constitutes a low carb diet. And I think you're going to find the key there. I think many of you think you're eating quote unquote healthy. I had somebody in my office yesterday that was eating all this organic food, and she really thought it was healthy, but it was a lot of organic carbohydrate type foods like cereals and breads and things like that were actually creating insulin resistance. Creating insulin resistance means more belly fat. So that's the key. I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you for liking this video. Please follow me on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and on Twitter. And remember that everyone, you are included, deserves the freedom to live their best life. And I will see you in the next video.